Here's the Divemaster 3. I showed this to you briefly in a video, I don't know, a couple weeks ago, where I showed the whole state of my Aragon watch collection. Today's a review. After wearing this for a couple weeks every day, been wearing it at work, been working pretty hard lately, a lot of physical work, priming and painting and scraping and building. I like the watch. I took it off the bracelet because the bracelet was getting beat up, and a couple times the clasp opened up on me. It didn't fall off because, you still have to push those two little things, but I didn't like that. So I put the rubber strap on. Before I put the rubber strap on, I tried a leather Zulu. I'm just showing you this briefly because this is a watch I purchased from a guy who was a pilot in the Air Force. He flew bombers and fighters. He flew everything. This band came on this watch. So I had it in my watch collection. It's a very comfortable band. I don't know who makes it. It's got the quick release here. These lines cut into the back side of it are nice because they allow a little air to flow. The stitching is great. Keep the thing from stretching out on you. It didn't have a keeper on it. I found this. And as a matter of fact, this buckle did not come on this bracelet. Oh, look, is that stitching? Yeah, stitching's snapped there. I got to burn that. That's kind of weird. I can fix that. So let me show it to you on wrist real quick. Before I even show it to you on wrist, these are the buckles that I got from the guy that gave me over 10 pounds of buckles before Christmas. I did a video on that. And these are all ranging in size from 19 millimeter up to 26 millimeter. Some of them are signed, and these are what I'm using on my bands. This rubber strap came with a black buckle on it, and because this case is brushed, I wanted a brushed buckle, and I found this one in the collection. I think that works out pretty well. So let's go over the specs on this for you. It's a 45 millimeter case. Keep in mind, my wrist is just about 7 3/4, 7 5/8, and you see what that looks like on that wrist. I don't remember all the specs, so I have my handy dandy calipers here. The height of this is 18.4, so it's a tall watch. All these Aragons are just overbuilt, ridiculous. Lug to lug. The length on this is 50.6 millimeters. It's 22 millimeter strap width. I like the way it wears. I like the 4 o'clock crown. I like a lot of things about it. However, this is what I would call a daytime watch. Okay? And you guys are going to say, wait a second, it's got pretty good lume. The whole dial kind of lights up on it. I showed you guys that in the last video. The problem is, in the middle of the night, if you wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning, this is on your bedside table, you can't tell the time because there's just a glow to the whole dial, so you can't read it. And I picked this up because I love the styling of it. I love the framed bezel insert where there's metal that rings the crystal, metal on the outside. I love the bubble crystal here. Love that. It's an NH35 movement, 200 meter water resistant, tank of a watch, cool looking, love it. The white dials are harder to read the time on at a quick glance. Look at it compared to a black dial. When you see that black dial, boom, you know what time it is. You look at this one, it takes you a couple extra seconds. That's a serious issue for me. I don't have too many watches that have white dials like that. I prefer a black dial watch. So I just wanted to point that. My negatives on this watch are white dial, a little harder to read, and the lume at night doesn't work. This watch here, as old as it is, the lume still works, and at 3 o'clock in the morning you look at it. It's funny, if you turn the lights off and you didn't charge this thing, you wouldn't see much lume. But if you wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning in a dark room and you look at it, you'll be able to read the time. Not so with this watch. And also there's no lume at all on the bezel insert, not even at the pip there. So it makes it not a real dive watch. So I'm just saying, I'm not knocking it. Great bezel action, everything lines up. I use the bezel a lot to time things. If I'm doing laundry, you know, that sort of thing, or I'm cooking something. I like it. I do like it. I'd like to like it more, is what I'm saying. So I'm happy I have it. I'm going to find something else probably that I like more. I'll just go back to my Seiko 55 Fathoms. I'm going to keep beating on this one. What I like about this watch is I got it so inexpensively and it's so tough that I can beat on this watch and feel good about it. It's not going to bother me. And if I ran into somebody and I wanted to gift it to them, I could do that. That's kind of my thing. So that's, my brief review after wearing this thing for a couple of weeks. It keeps accurate time. It's fine to wear. It could take some abuse. And it has a couple negatives. That's all I'm saying. It's my only watch with a Pepsi bezel. I'm also going to tell you that I've been watching, I bought the whole series of Magnum PI. And there's some watches there that he wore. The watch he wore in the first season, Marathon now makes that version of that watch. It's a quartz. And season 4, he started off wearing a Rolex GMT with one of these bezels, a Pepsi bezel, with a black dial. And Steel Dive makes a version of that with the NH34 movement in it. I think I'm just going to pull the trigger on that watch. I'll probably get the quartz as well, which was the Chronosport C quartz. Again, Momentum makes a version of that. I think I'm just going to buy that. Have my Magnum PI watch collection. So, if you're an Aragon guy and you like this watch, I'm not deterring you from it. I love the styling. These are hard to find. They all sold out. They're only available on the secondary market, and the numbers are actually pretty high on these right now. Maybe if I was smart, I would just put the bracelet back on it and try to sell this. I'm in a weird spot with it. I'm just weird about the watches I have. If I want to keep them, I want to like more things about them than I dislike. And there's a lot I like about this watch. I think that the styling on this watch, let me just try to get you some focus here, is beautiful. The applied indices, I don't know if they're blued or painted, but the framework around the indices, the hour hand, the second hand's got that metallic kind of paint on it. I like a lot of the choices. I think they're a little odd, but I aesthetically speaking, this is a beautiful watch. Nothing wrong with this watch. It's very good looking. But I'm a practical guy at the same time. So when it comes to my tools and everything else, things that are superfluous I'm not into, and I just want the most practicality. And this is not the most practical. I mean, these bubble crystals are not a good idea if you want to wear it to work especially. However, I prefer that. I prefer that over the flat crystal. But, that's one of those things. I'm kind of torn on this. I like the way it looks on the wrist, all of it. But the things that it's lacking, and the fact that in the middle of the night you can't even read the thing, is a little bit of a bummer to me. But I'm going to show you something right now that's awesome. Some of you, all of you, who have been watching my videos, and I've been making the bands, right? Let me dig one out. So some of you may remember when I fit this 50 millimeter to this, I had to machine the case. We might be able to see it right there. You can see a bevel. It's a little dusty. You got to be careful when you do that zoom. So you can see there's a bevel here, right at the top of that leather strap on the case. It's not perfect. This was my own personal watch. You can see it more so here. I could polish that up and make it look better. Well, here's something that Wing, I guess he started doing, watch this. Watch when I do this. Let me fix this zoom again here. Look at that. So for the watches that Wing is designing that are intended, that come on a bracelet, but also intended for you to put on any other kind of strap, they are machining these cases correctly. So that, to me, that is awesome. Now, I don't know, I've looked at the Aragon website, and I haven't noticed on the website where they show the watch without a band that shows this chamfering. I wish they would show that. Now, here's an older Android, and you can see the issue here. You can see how close the spring bar is to the case. So for me to put a different band on this, I have to remove the spring bar and I have to machine with a file and a Dremel or whatever else. I have to take this down on a 45, just like this watch, to be able to achieve something like this, or put any other band on it. So it's something to be aware of. If you pick this up on the metal bracelet, at least now you know you can put this back on there. At least now you get on the metal bracelet, you can take it off the metal bracelet and put any other band on it and it'll work. Believe it or not, that and the bubble crystal are my two favorite things about this watch. What I also like about this watch is when you stare at it from here, it just looks round. I mean, the lugs almost disappear when you're staring at it. I guess there's an optical illusion there because of the shape of the bezel. You know, it's got that ramp to it and everything else. But, I mean, aesthetically, it's very pleasing. It's just the details aren't right. Wing, if anybody knows Wing, listen to me. Listen to me when I'm talking to you, all right? Same watch, black dial. Okay, black dial. And maybe move the date to the 6 o'clock, but above the indices, so we still have 360 lume. No breakup on the lume. That would be nice. Put some lume on the bezel insert, and you got yourself a winner. Then you got yourself a winner. That's all I'm saying. Let's improve on it. Let's make it better. Let's make it cooler. And I'm done with this. This is the Palooka Watch Channel. A Palooka's review of a watch, right? I'm terrible at this. I'm terrible. But I think you guys get the point here. I don't think I can tell you anything else about it. Display back. I mean, you guys see what this is. Now, only Aragon people are watching this. If you're an Aragon guy, why? I want to know what your story is with that. Are any of you Aragon guys diving with these watches? What are you doing in them? Are you wearing them just because you like the aesthetics of them? Are any of you blue collar guys? I'm real curious. What's your opinion, what I'm saying of a black dial versus the white dial? I mean, this Aragon on the right here, I didn't set the time on. But when you look at that, you know, boom, you can see the time a lot easier at a quick glance. So I think that's what I'm learning here is what I like and what I don't like. So maybe I'll get that steel dive GMT with the Pepsi bezel and put a dome crystal on it. That could be cool. Anyhow, that's it for now. You guys have a great day. I know this is I'm weird with this stuff. I'm not your typical watch review guy. Obviously. So let me know what you think about that. I still love the watch. I can't get over. I just love the way it looks. But those little details bother me enough to where, you know, I'm already just going to jump back to one of my other favorites eventually here. And although this is probably my only beater work watch at the moment. You guys know I prefer the leather, but I've discovered that for work, this isn't, at least now. In the summertime, I don't like the rubber because it gets all stinky. but and cruddy. But the great thing about it is I come home, I take it off, I just rinse it off in the sink and hit it with a fingernail brush in cold water, get all the dust off of it and everything, and it's easy to deal with. So that's it, man. The Aragon Divemaster 3. Beautiful. Have a great day. Be good to one another.